अनुकूलचन्द्राय ॐ नमो अनुकूलचन्द्राय।
Hi Guru, a brother in faith of mine has wanted to know about telepathy, teleportation, clairvoyance, etc. Now, people would like to know these things. Generally it is called, but these are called extrasensory powers. I thought it prudent to make a video upon these subjects. This brother in faith also wanted to know whether our merciful Lord Sri Thakur Anukul Chandra has said anything upon these subjects. Now, possibly there is not a single subject, not a single phenomenon, not a single thing under the sun upon which Sri Thakur Anukul Chandra has not said something. Now, telepathy, regarding telepathy, first of all, I would like to, cite an incident. One day, to be specific, on 11th December 1941, Thakur was discussing upon telepathy, clairvoyance, etc. And he has said that suppose I feel for the need for tobacco, and at this very instant a man may come and a man may come with tobacco. These are matters related with mental tune, it is his saying. Now, from what I have gathered from his sayings, it is like this, that he did feel for the need of tobacco, but he did not say anything about it to anyone, nor did he exhibit any external manifestations for tobacco. But definitely, in his mind, he was thinking upon, he was thinking for the need of tobacco. And at that, this mental tuning, you can say, but this thinking was felt by this person. And accordingly, he gave tobacco to him. This is an example of telepathy. Now, coming to clairvoyance, Thakur was saying like this, that once, I saw that a ship was burning on an ocean. And Sri Thakur has narrated this incident to the persons who were nearby at that point of time. And on the very next day, this news was published in a newspaper. And the incident, was proved real. So this is an example of clairvoyance. Now, regarding telepathy, what is it? Telepathy means it's a kind of communication. You see, it is a kind of communication of mental words or mental tuning of two or more persons staying at different places. This is possible. See, we have many machines like telephone, telescope, television, so on and so forth. In every case, tele, you see, is present at the, you see, first place. Tele means distant. And the Bengali of telephone is Durabhas. You see, accordingly, I would like to say the Bengali meaning of telepathy is Dur Monabhas. Dur Monabhas. Now, these are this telephone, telescope, televisions. These are machines. You see, these are invented by scientists. Actually, these are extensions, I should say, extensions of our sense organ. In other words, with the aid or help of these machines, we can increase the power of our sense organ. For example, you see, through our ordinary vision, we cannot see things of distant places. But if we use telescope, we can see it vividly. But telepathy is no machine. Again, clairvoyance. What is it? Clairvoyance is a phenomenon, or you can say it's an incident whereby a person can see, can watch, can visualize incidents occurring at far away places. And you see, a person can see it very real. Now, I will give you an example whereby both telepathy as well as clairvoyance, you see, were reproduced. You see, once Sri Thakur Anukul Chandra was suffering from prolonged illness. It lasted about, you see, for even 2 years. And when his health condition was deteriorating, then by the advice of a physician, he was taken to Kurseong. But, you see, there his health condition, you see, got even worsened, I should say. Now, Sushilda, one of his ardent disciples, he was always thinking for Thakur. Actually, he thought Sri Thakur as his own existence. He was so, you see, ardent disciple. Now, one day he was meditating on the health condition of Sri Thakur. You see, definitely by chanting his holy name in the mirror of in his mind. And suddenly, he saw that Thakur, you see, was extremely ill. You see, because of excruciating pain, he got speechless. And the situation was definitely very alarming. And he saw this scene, or you can say this vision, you see, for 3 times simultaneously. Then he immediately went to Kurseong. And surprisingly, he saw Thakur absolutely in that condition which he, did see while he was meditating upon Sri Thakur. How is it possible? Here, both telepathy as well as clairvoyance, I should say, were operating. Because Why telepathy? Because somehow Sushilda, you see, could perceive the mental thinking of Sri Thakur, the mental situation, and also of his physical situation of Sri Thakur. And you see, so this is a kind of telepathy because this is a matter related with mental tuning. Since Sushilda, you see, was constantly thinking upon Thakur's health condition, so therefore, you see, his mental tuning, you see, got matched with the mental tuning of Sri Thakur. Now again, he saw this vision. This is an example of clairvoyance because the situation, you see, happened at a very far away places. Because at that point of time, Sushilda was in Calcutta. Thakur was in Kurseong. And, but whatever he saw in Calcutta, you see, that proved absolutely correct. So, these are matters related with, you see, mental tuning. Now, regarding the clarification of telepathy, clairvoyance, or for example, teleportation. Teleportation is also, you can say, a way of transporting objects or material with the aid of mind. See, telepathy, clairvoyance, teleportations, these are not, you see, these are no machines. However, if we regard brain and sense organs as machine, then in that way, these are also machines. Now, Sri Thakur Anukulo Chandra has clarified these incidents like this. You see, according to his, I should say, theory, our thoughts are emitted from our brain as waves, as sound waves. Now, he has given a comparison. He has stated that waves, you see, which are transmitted from the transmitting center of wireless, and if there is receiving set or there are receiving sets which are in tune with those waves, so in those receiving sets, the waves would be reproduced. So, for example, in this case, you see, Thakur, in his ailing condition, see, he had also emitted some kind of thinking. And you see, those thoughts were emitted as waves from his brain. And Sushilda, since, see, he was very much attached with Thakur, therefore, he could perceive, he could catch those waves. So I should say the sense organs and the brain of Sushilda, you see, in this case, can be regarded as the receiving set. As a matter of fact, Thakur has also added that our brain is such a mechanism, is such a machine, that it can catch fine impulses from the occurrence of the incident, which may, you see, take place at very far away places, very distant places. But still, brain has the capacity to accept those fine impulses. And these fine impulses actually excite the visual center of the brain. And a person can see, you see, things or happenings or incidents, you see, as direct vision. Though these, you see, these incidents or everything occur at very far away and distant places. So according to Sri Thakur, this is direct vision. And exactly, I should say, the replica of his, I should say, explanation, this we find in case of Sushilda. he, realized it and he saw it. So in Sushilda's case, both telepathy as well as clairvoyance, we can see it. Now, you'll be surprised to know that regarding nomenclature of different objects, by different people staying at different parts of the world, may be similar, if not absolutely same. I would like to give you some examples. For example, in Bengali we say Dawal, but English people say wall. Or you can say in English it is said wall. So we say Dawal, they say wall. Again, we say Gorom, they say warm. We say Gorom, they say warm. Again, we say door, they say door, D-O-O-R. So these are some of the examples. But these are observations. We must conclude something from these observations. From these observations, we may say that if different persons of different localities, if their thinking process, if their mental tuning upon some objects, or you can say upon naming, of some objects, are similar, then it is very much possible that the pronunciation of the nomenclature would be similar. As I have told you, I have given certain examples. Now I should say that regarding all these things, Sri Thakur's brain could catch everything. Nothing could escape, I should say, from his brain. For example, you will get it on 18th volume of Alochana Prasange, possibly on 23rd page. One day, Sri Thakur has said that chloromycetin is effective in typhus. This I have heard, that chloromycetin is effective in typhus. At that point of time, chloromycetin was invented by the scientist to cure typhus or typhoid, like that. Chloromycetin at that point of time was proved life-saving drugs. Now, Thakur has stated like this, that I have heard that chloromycetin is effective in typhus. But long ago, in Satsang chemical, a medicine was invented whose name was given as kijomycetin. Nowadays, I find that many drugs, many medicines are named, after mycetin. So, from this sayings of Sri Thakur Anukul Chandra, one aspect is clear, that the name mycetin was first coined by Sri Thakur himself. But, Sri Thakur or Satsang chemical at that point of time, had no connections with the outside world in that way. Because communications at that point of time was not very easy. But regarding the pronunciation of the objects, similar kind of pronunciation emerged out. As a matter of fact, as is the nature of Sri Thakur Anukul Chandra, he has commented from this observation. What he commented? He commented like this, that if similar efforts are made and similar procedures are followed, then even if they are performed by the different people and at different locations, absolutely far away places, But still, if similar efforts are made and almost similar procedures are followed, then, you see, regarding the naming of the end product, similar name emerge out. This is the conclusion of Sri Thakur Anukul Chandra. As a matter of fact, every great persons, every spiritual persons, every holy persons, they have the ability to extract commonness, you see, among diverse activities, among diverse people. You see, another spiritual person whose name was Kopil monk, Kopil Muni, he is the propounder of Sankhya philosophy. He termed, you see, he coined a term called Hiranyagarbha. Hiranyagarbha means, you see, collective mind. According to his theory, whatever a person of this whole universe, I should say, whatever a person thinks at this moment, it is not that his only thinking. I should say it is not his only thinking. In other words, the same thinking, you see, very many people around this universe may think at that very instant, because all the thoughts, or you can say every thinking, is just a part of Hiranyagarbha, is just a part of the collective mind. You see, therefore, anything, see, anybody, anywhere, whatever a person may think, that must be, you see, a part of the thought process which are stored within Hiranyagarbha, or you can say the collective mind. So this is really, I should say, very, you see, astonishing fact. As a matter of fact, our, you see, spiritual scriptures, religious scriptures have stated that you see, we should think good, we should see good sins, we should hear auspicious words. Om bhadram karnebhi srinuam devaho bhadram pashyamaksho bhirjajatraho. It means that I must hear auspicious word in my ears. I must see, you see, auspicious sins through my eyes. Because that these are really very much, you see, important. Not only important, these have practical sides also. These have applied sides also. For example, at this point of time, let's say that just see, I think something good. Now that I will be benefited by my good thinking, it is not so. You see, very many people having almost similar mental frame up, you see, with me, they also get the benefit. As a matter of fact, whatever I think, this thing, as I've told you, that thoughts are emitted from our brain as webs, and these webs would hit, you see, very many people having almost similar mental frame up. So therefore, if I think something good, then, you see, its share, I should say, others people would also get. The reverse is also true. That is, if I think anything, you see, mundane thoughts, then this bad thinking would definitely affect other people also. So therefore, it is my responsibility to think good, to see things, good things. So, not that our religious scriptures, or you can say the spiritual scriptures, you see, they have stated all these things simply for advice, not at all. You see, this has got very tremendous applied sides. This is, I should say, applied spiritualism. This is a part of applied spiritualism. And Sri Thakur Anukula Chandra, you see, is also a person who liked applied side of the spiritualism. And accordingly, we the disciples of Sri Thakur, you see, we do it. How? During Satsang sittings, we pray for the upliftment of departed souls with our holy name. You see, how does it help? You see, while we chant holy name in our mind, you see, we are more than one in satsang sittings. So it's a collective prayer, I should say. And during prayer, what we do, we chant holy names within our mind. And as I've told you, the holy name is also a, word. So it has a sound vibration. And this sound vibration has got a specific frequency. Now, this sound wave, again I should say that this thinking, this chanting would emit from our brain as waves. And this wave would hit the departed soul. Remember, departed souls mean that within this soul, or you can say this soul is nothing, but it is the Atma plus complexes. You can say Jivatma. You see, Jivatma means the soul and the complexes. By complexes, we mean, desire like sex, anger, greediness. You see, these are some of the complexes that we are obsessed of. As a matter of fact, when a person dies, then his soul would depart from his body. This soul means that not only the Atma, yes, it has got the Atma plus complexes. That is, the complexes by which this person was obsessed of. And while we chant our holy name, this web would hit this departed soul, and it would induce the departed soul to think something good, and this in turn would push the departed soul to move at higher planes. This is the idea behind prayer. Similarly, we also pray for speedy recovery of ailing persons. You see how it helps? Well, while we chant holy name, it means that the sound vibrations of this holy name would hit the ailing person. That a person is ailing, it means that his vital flow, or you can say his jivatma, his vital current, vital energy. These are some of the terminologies that Sri Thakur Anukul Chandra has used from time to time. According to him, the definition of Atma is that soul is an energetic Ran, and it is a motile entity. This is, I should say, the splendid definition that I have ever heard. So, it is an energetic Ran. As a matter of fact, that I am living. How? Because I have a source of energy within my body. This energy is what is called vital flow, vital energy. And this is what is Jivatma. This Atma, or you can say this energy is the main, this energy is responsible for enliven all the machinery is present within my body. As a matter of fact, Sri Thakur Anukula Chandra has given a very nice, comparison. He has stated that suppose we may compare our body, as an engine, and steam which is present within the engine, this steam is the Jivatma. Actually, the steam is responsible, to run this engine. So the moment the steam would be emitted from this, would be, departed from the engine would be, as a matter of fact, engine itself is dead. But this steam is actually the potent energy, or you can say it is the main source, or you can say it is the principal matter by which an engine can run. So therefore, similar is the case with us. In our case, what happens, this energy, actually, as I've told you, this energy, runs through all the machineries of my body. The moment this energy would be departed from my body, then though I have all the machineries present in my body, but still the machineries would not work any longer. I can give you another example. You can see in hospitals or nursing homes, ailing patients, they may come at such a situation that their lungs, are not functioning. So in this situation, artificial ventilation was given to them. And what is the function of artificial ventilation? That since lungs are not working, that's why this artificial ventilation would artificially, that is from the external source, would operate the lungs in the hope that in course of time the lungs would get its original function back, would get its power back and would function normally. In other words, the normalcy would be restored. Similar is the case here. Actually, while we chant holy name, remember, the frequency of this sound vibration has got maximum resemblance with the frequency of the vital flow, or you can say the Jivatma of, human being. So therefore, while we chant this holy name, the sound as wave, would hit the ailing person. And this sound wave, since it has got similarity with the frequency of the sound vibration of the Jivatma, I must say that Jivatma is nothing but a sound vibration. As a matter of fact, the whole universe is the manifestation of a sound vibration. We all know the name of Stanley Hawking. He discovered Big Bang theory. According to this theory, this universe, originated with a Big Bang, means with big knowledge, big noise. So noise means sound. So therefore, everything is sound vibration. This is the fundamental discovery, I should say, of Sri Thakur Anukula Chandra. And the holy name that he has given to us, has got similarity with the sound vibration of the whole universe in general. And so while we chant holy name, this sound wave would hit the ailing person and would revitalize, would reactivate the Jivatma, or you can say the energy which is present in the body of the patient. So ailing person means that somehow his vital force, his vital flow, or his Jivatma, somehow got inactive, got revived, got somehow dormant. So by chanting holy name. It is possible. As a matter of fact, the applied side of spiritualism, Sister Thakur Anukul Chandra, since he liked this, and therefore, a name Chikitsalaya, you see, at Kustia, presently in Bangladesh, a name Chikitsalaya, it means a name hospital, was established. There, what happened actually, you see, ailing patients, actually, some disciples of Sister Thakur Anukul Chandra, they, you see, touched those patients and they chanted holy name. And through this, you see, skin to skin contact, the sound wave of the holy name entered into the body of those ailing persons. And this sound wave would, you see, sound wave, you see, activated the vital flow, or you can say the jivatma of those ailing patients. And as a consequence, you see, very many ailing patients got cured. This is a fact. So this is the applied side of the spiritualism. Now, the question is regarding telepathy, teleportation or clairvoyance. All these are extrasensory powers that people used to say. I should say these are, you see, so-called extrasensory power. Extrasensory power means that is beyond the capacity of our normal sense organs. But remember, we have only 5 sense organs. And through these 5 sense organs, we, you see, catch impulses, we catch realization, we catch feelings from the outside environment. For example, we have eyes for catching visual impulses, we have ears for catching, you see, audition, we have nose for odor, for catching odor, we have tongue for taking, you see, taste impulse, and we have skin for taking contact impulse, or you can say the touch impulse. But besides these 5 sense organs, people often talk of 6th sense organ. Among them, you see, eminent personalities are also included. Now, in this connection, the name of Jim Corbett, or you can say the name of Kenneth Anderson, those, you see, they were renowned hunters. Naturally, you see, the name of these persons, you see, would come to my mind. They, more often than not, I should say, mentioned about the presence of the 6th sense. Remember, you see, they were actually hunters, definitely, but they hunted only the man-eating tigers or leopards, but they never, you see, hunted normal tiger or normal leopard. I should say that they are also saints, nothing sort of saints. They are great persons, and I have great regard, high regards for them. But they have mentioned this 6th sense. For example, Jim Corbett, he has stated, if you go through the writings of Jim Corbett, you would find that in very many cases, you see, while he was walking through the pathway of the forest, suddenly, you see, he sensed imminent danger. Though he didn't see any trace of tiger, he didn't hear anything, you see, nor did he smell anything. But he was sure and certain that an imminent danger was ahead. And every case, you see, in each and every case, his apprehension, you see, was proved very real. So, I should say that he has stated the applied side of this 6th sense. And accordingly, he took he took proper care, and he got rid of these imminent dangers. So he has stated the applied side of this sixth sense, and by using sixth sense, they escaped from very many imminent dangers. Kenneth Anderson has also stated the same thing. You see, so according to them, people possess another sense organ besides these 5 sense organs, whom they termed sixth sense. You see, but according to Sri Thakur Anukul Chandra, there is no such existence of any sixth sense. So, according to Thakur, all the sensations, all the feelings, all the realizations, all the impulses are felt by these 5 sense organs. So, how can we clarify the feelings of Jim Corbett or Kenneth Anderson? You see, they also felt sensations, impulses, realizations through their 5 sense organs only. As a matter of fact, no need of any extra sense organ. And in reality, we have no such sense organs. Sense organ or sense organs. I don't know whether there is an existence of 7 sense organs or like that. Now, so how can we clarify? This can be clarified. You see, I should say that it is a case, or you can say it is an interaction of both the action of the gene and also the action of the environment. In other words, it is a kind of, interaction of gene and environment. You see, Jim Corbett or Kenneth Anderson, for example, they got, such good genes from their heredities, I should say, that these genes, were so efficient, and by the action of those genes, their sense organs were, normally more active, normally more sharpened than, more sharp than other people, other ordinary people, I should say. This is the heredity. This is the action of heredity. Now coming to the action of environment. You see, Jim Corbett or Kenneth Anderson, they had to, roam into the jungles for prolonged period of time. They had to see things, among dense foliages. And gradually, through sustained practice, their eyes were adapted, were acclimatized, were trained to see things in darkness also, or you can say in less light, which ordinary people cannot. We cannot see things, like them. Similarly, their ears were also trained to hear slightest sound. They could even identify, they could distinguish the sounds of wolves, leopards, tigers distinctly, they could recognize. So, because of the action of the heredity, that is because of the action of the genes, and also because of the prolonged, I should say, habitation within the forest, their sense organs were more active, more, sharper than normal people. And this is the reason why, they sensed the imminent danger. They sensed all these feelings through their 5 sense organs only. No need of any extra sense organs. Now, is there another avenue by which we can sharpen, we can activate, we can increase the power of our 5 sense organs? The answer is yes, it is possible. According to Sri Thakur Anukul Chandra, he has stated like this, that if the cells of the brain are properly excited and properly awakened by doing name and meditation. Remember, doing name means chanting his holy name within the mind, and meditation means reflecting his picture in the mirror of our minds. You see, this is what meditation is all about. Now, by doing name and meditation, if the cells of the brain are properly excited and awakened, then it is possible that people can feel, can realize, you see, can recollect the memories of his past lives in dream state and also in awakening state. This is the saying of Sri Thakur Anukul Chandra. You see, we remain in three states: awakening state, dream state, and in Susupti state. That, you see, in which I am in at present is awakening state. Because, you see, and in this awakening state, I am a three-layered entity. Means I have a body, and within my body there is a mind, and behind the mind there is an Atma. So I am a three-layered entity, and I can, you see, I can feel the presence of these three entities, I should say, three bodies. Though faintly, we can understand. But when we go to sleep, then our bodily feelings would go. So naturally, in dream state, you see, when we see dreams, we have only two bodies. Namely, we have mind and we have Atma. And though I should say the scales of the mind would definitely, you see, get changed. And the dreams that we see are not always unreal, not always, you see, untruth. As a matter of fact, in dream state, we may visualize, we may see things which happened in our past lives. Maybe we cannot clarify it properly, but according to these sayings of this Sri Thakur Anukul Chandra, we can understand that in dream state, we can feel, we can recollect the memories of our past lives. If we, however, you see, excite the cells of our brain by doing name and meditation. In awakening state also, you see, in awakening state also, we can feel, we can recollect the memories of our past life. As a matter of fact, we can feel very many feelings. Sri Thakur Anukul Chandra stated, you see, many memories of his past lives. This is the nature of all Purushottams, you see. So therefore, Lord Sri Krishna, for example, has stated in a sloka of Bhagavad Gita, you see, Bahuni me batitani janmani tavacharjuna tannaham veda sadvani natang vetta parantapu. You see, it means that many lives of mine have passed, and so have yours. I know them all, you know not. So, the same thing. Now, you see, so Sri Thakur has also added something, that the scenes which we do not see through our eyes normally, the auditions which we do not hear through our ears normally, the odors which we cannot smell, that these, you see, scenes or scenarios, these auditions, these odors do exist, not that they are non-existent. But to us, they remain as non-existent. Why? Because the power of our sense organs, you see, the powers of our sense organs are limited. Because of the limited power of our sense organs, we cannot feel all these, you see, sensations. But they do exist, actually. We can feel it. We can feel them if we can increase, if we can augment the power of our sense organs. And it is possible. You see how? Sri Thakur Anukula Chandra has given the answer. He has stated like this, that if a person, you see, or a disciple, you see, does name and does meditation, then it is possible. And if he, you see, as long as people would remain, you see, as long as people are busy with 1,000 different assignments, then his or her brain would get scattered. You see, but for those who actually, you see, work for his one and only Ishto, even if they may, you see, they may remain in 1,000 assignments, still their brains would remain well, peaceful and at rest. Their brains can catch the fine impulses. And as I've told you, the condition is he or she must work for one and only Ishto. If a person, you see, works for more than one Ishto, or more than one, I should say, deity or God, then his brain would get scattered. This is the sayings of Sri Thakur Anukul Chandra. Now, so if a person can work for one and only Ishto, then his, you see, the tuning of his brain would be maintained. And not only this, the tuning of his brain would be, you see, enhanced, would be augmented, would be increased. And there is actually, you see, there is no level for augmentation. You see, the sky is the limit, I should say. That this augmentation, one can increase the powers of his sense organs to a sky-high limit. It is possible. Now, in such condition, I should say, these people can acquire the, you see, as I've told you, can have the power to sense something more. They can say something more than ordinary people. And you see, this, I should say, these increased power of sense organs, you see, are called vibhutis, or godheads, or endowments, or you can say divine powers. This is the vibhutis that people used to say as extrasensory powers. There is no such extrasensory power. As a matter of fact, all the powers, you see, are felt by these 5 sense organs. That by doing name and meditation, our sense organs, you see, get sharpened, get activated. And this activated and sharpened sense organ can sense, can realize, can feel, you see, sensations or stimuli, which they could not, you see, used to feel earlier. But now they can. These extra powers of sense organs are called vibhutis, or you can say godheads, or divine powers, or endowments. Now, all the, you see, spiritual masters, they have advocated that don't pay much attention to these vibhutis. For example, Ramakrishna Dev, he has cautioned, he has stated like this, that almost like this, that you see, so many diamonds and pearls, you see, are present at the corridor of my mother's temple. It's no use, you see, giving importance to them. This is the saying of Ramakrishna Dev. Almost similar statement has given by Sri Thakur Anukul Chandra. He has stated that when a person, when a disciple moves, you see, through active, normal and concentric way, remember this particular word, concentric way, means that when a person is engaged with one and only issue, not more than one issue, then, as I've told you, his brain would get scattered, simply scattered. It is not possible. So therefore, when a person or disciple moves through active, normal and concentric way, then he can feel, you see, he can acquire very many vibhutis, very many divine powers, but he does not pay any attention or much attention to these vibhutis. Or else, I should say, because if a person gives, you see, more attention to these powers, then he would get derailed from his main purpose. Because the first and foremost aim, or you see, first and foremost goal of human being is to get God. This should be our first and foremost demand, you can say. But it is also a fact, while we would move through this pathway, that is through this spiritual pathway, these vibhutis, or you can say these can be treated as wells of this pathway. A disciple, a pursuer, a seeker of spiritual knowledge would definitely acquire these wells. But they should not give much attention to these vibhutis. Because what happens actually, now it is good. You see, if anybody can use vibhuti to philanthropic reasons, for philanthropic reasons, for the welfare of mankind, not only for mankind, but also for beasts, for birds, even for inanimate objects. In this connection, I should say that Sister Thakur Anukul Chandra has stated that even inanimate object, you see, even an inanimate object has consciousness. Everywhere in this world, you see, the permutation and combination of, you see, atoms and molecules are going on. This is the saying of Sister Thakur Anukul Chandra. And it is really a fact. You see, there is simply a very slight difference in the permutation and combination of DNA molecule of, you see, of human being or with, let's say, with monkey. Very little difference. But this subtle difference is sufficient enough, you see, to make somebody as monkey and to make somebody as human being. So, Sister Thakur saying that in this world, you see, the dancing of atoms and molecules, you see, is going on. So therefore, it is really, I should say, very significant and fundamental saying. Now, these vibhutis are no unscientific matters, I should say, because it is Sister Thakur Anukul Chandra who has explained it, who have explained scientifically. For example, one day he has stated a fact to Krishnada. Krishnada, his full name was Krishna Prasanna Bhattacharya. He was a scientist. He got, you see, gold medal in his MSc in physics, and he stood first in the Calcutta University in his MSc. Now, he was an ardent disciple of Sister Thakur Anukul Chandra. And to him, Sister Thakur has stated one incident. He has stated like this, that when he was young, and he, you see, under open sky, he sat for doing name and meditation. And suddenly, black clouds were accumulated, and it was about to rain. Thakur did not want rain at that point of time, and that's why he waved, you see, his right hand, indicating the clouds to go away from that place. Only from that place, but in other places, you see, it was raining cats and dogs. So, this is, in a way, you can say, definitely a vibhuti. It's a divine power, but definitely, but you see, please bear in mind, he has stated that he did not, you see, do it for showing any supernatural power or any magical power. Absolutely not. You see, for uninterrupted meditation, he did so. But, you see, Krishnada, being a scientist, he wanted a scientific explanation of this incident, quite naturally. So Sri Thakur has explained like this, that suppose, you see, there are several brick kilns and they get fired up. Then you would see that while it may rain at other places, but you see, over the brick kiln, you see, there may not be any rain. The reason is that because of the fire present within, hidden within the brick kiln, they produce enormous amount of heat, and this amount of heat actually is the reason for evaporation of the rain droplets. And in turn, the rain droplets, would again be converted into water vapor. Naturally, Krishnada asks this question, "Oh Thakur, I understand that if several brick kilns get fired up at the same time, then definitely enormous amount of heat would be produced. But while a person, meditates, is it possible to, is it possible that such enormous amount of heat can be produced?" Sri Thakur has replied, "See, this is a kind of mechanism, that is another, but the result is essentially the same." So, this is the explanation. As a matter of fact, you can say this is the applied side of meditation also, or doing name. For example, I have heard about some spiritual seekers who had to go to a cold place, and finding no other, they had no warm clothes. Therefore, they sat for name and meditation, doing name and meditation, and in course of time, heat, automatically, heat was generated within their body. And this generated heat, I should say, helped them to protect themselves from the severe cold. So this is also the applied side of the, of doing name and meditation. We must, there is nothing wrong if a person can employ these vibhutis, for good reasons. Nothing to object. But more often than not, it slips from the hands. Because, whenever a person can acquire some extra powers, then he or she cannot, restrain himself or herself from exhibiting these so-called miracles or so-called magical powers. As a matter of fact, most of the people, among them, very eminent personalities are also there. All of them are basically miracle mongers. They, consider the spiritual persons like this, that they would show some magics, they would do some miracles to solve one problem. This is their apprehension, I should say. But actually, those who are real spiritual masters, those who are real seekers of spiritual knowledge, they do not do all these, things. They simply do not care for magical, for showing, for exhibiting magical powers to people. But for common, for common devotees, for ordinary disciples, it's very difficult, to resist from the temptation of showing miracles, particularly in front of the eminent personalities. So, if vibhutis are employed for self-interests, for vested interest, for getting name and fame, or for, earning easy money, then definitely this would in turn would derail him from his main purpose. That is, from his first and foremost purpose. That is to get God. This is our hankering. This has been our hankering. Therefore, we must be very cautious regarding these vibhutis. But yes, that these vibhutis are not unreal. These vibhutis are present. You see, and it is possible to employ them, you see, for philanthropic purposes. Then I should say it is really possible. And I should say that I should say only the real spiritual persons, they can employ, they can use, see, these so-called extrasensory powers for philanthropic reasons, because they have the ability to restrain themselves, you see, from getting name and fame or showing any, exhibiting themselves as something supernatural person. No. You see, they have the capacity to control themselves. But ordinary devotees cannot. Most of them, I should say, most of them cannot. So for them, they should employ, even if it is necessary, they should employ these vibhutis only in extreme conditions, and definitely for philanthropic reasons. So, I think I have attempted to explain those, I should say, so-called extrasensory powers like telepathy, teleportation, clairvoyance, etc. And I would like to end my discussion with his saying, live in love. Joy Guru.